If you're currently receiving Social Security, what I'm about to tell you could determine whether you keep your full monthly check or suddenly lose it without warning. The Social Security Administration has introduced new compliance rules that millions of retirees aren't even aware of yet. Missing this crucial deadline won't just delay your payments. It could completely end your eligibility for certain benefits you've worked your whole life to earn. And this isn't a distant concern. It's already impacting thousands of Americans right now. The clock started ticking the moment these changes took effect. And here's what nobody's telling you. The SSA won't send you multiple reminders. They won't call to warn you. You'll simply see a letter in your mailbox, or worse, notice your deposit didn't arrive. By then, it might be too late to fix it. The 10-day window I'm referring to isn't arbitrary. It's tied to specific reporting requirements and verification processes that the SSA now mandates. Whether you're currently receiving retirement benefits, survivor benefits, or disability payments, these changes apply to you. Let me break down exactly what's happening and what you need to do right now. Now look, I need to be completely honest with you because your financial security is too important to sugarcoat anything. What's happening right now with Social Security is creating a perfect storm of confusion, and the people who are getting hurt the most are the ones who've played by the rules their entire lives. You worked hard, you paid into the system for 30, 40, maybe even 50 years. And now, when you need those benefits the most, there are administrative hurdles popping up that could jeopardize everything you've earned. The Social Security Administration has implemented new verification protocols that require immediate action from beneficiaries. And the problem is that most people aren't finding out about these requirements until it's almost too late, or in some heartbreaking cases after they've already lost their benefits. Let me give you a clear picture of what's unfolding across the country right now. In states like Florida, Arizona, Texas, Pennsylvania, and beyond, countless retirees who've relied on their Social Security checks for years are suddenly finding those payments stopped without any warning. No gradual reduction, no heads up, just gone. And when they reach out to the Social Security Administration for answers, they're told the same thing: they missed a crucial notice or failed to complete a required verification process within the given deadline. The devastating part is that many of these people never even received the original notice. Or they received it but didn't understand how urgent it was, or they thought they had more time to respond. The SSA is dealing with massive backlogs, outdated systems, and staffing shortages, which means that getting these issues resolved once your benefits are terminated can take months. And in some cases, certain benefits cannot be reinstated at all. Here's what's really going on behind the scenes. The Social Security Administration has been cracking down on what they call improper payments, which is government speak for money that goes out to people who may no longer be eligible or whose circumstances have changed. Now, in theory, this sounds reasonable. We all want the system to work properly and ensure that benefits go to the people who truly qualify. But the way they're implementing these verification processes is catching thousands of innocent retirees in the crossfire. They're sending out notices that look like regular mail, not like something urgent that requires immediate action. These notices get mixed in with all the other junk mail, Medicare advertisements, and solicitations that seniors receive every single day. Some people throw them out thinking they're scams, because let's face it, there are plenty of scammers out there trying to trick seniors with fake Social Security correspondence. The 10-day window I mentioned isn't just about one specific issue. It's connected to several different scenarios that could be affecting you right now. If you've had any changes in your life circumstances over the past year, you need to pay very close attention. Did you recently change your address? Get married or divorced? Start collecting a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security? Lose someone in your household? Travel outside the U.S. for an extended period? Or maybe pick up some part-time or consulting work? Any of these changes can trigger new verification requirements from the SSA. And if you don't respond within their deadline, they can suspend or even terminate your benefits while they review your case. The burden of proof is entirely on you, the beneficiary, to prove that you still qualify for your benefits. Now let's talk about survivor benefits, because this is where things get especially complex and where that 10-day deadline becomes critically important. If you're receiving benefits based on your late spouse's work record, the Social Security Administration will periodically require you to confirm that you haven't remarried, that your situation hasn't changed, and that you still qualify to receive those survivor benefits. They might send you a form that asks detailed questions about your living situation, your income, and your marital status. This isn't just a formality. If you don't return that form within the deadline they specify, which is often just 10 days from the date they mailed it, not from the date you received it, they will automatically terminate your survivor benefits. And here's the kicker. Once survivor benefits are terminated due to non-response, getting them reinstated requires you to go through the entire application process again from scratch, providing all the original documentation, death certificates, marriage certificates, and proof of your relationship. This can take months to resolve, and during that entire time, you're not receiving any income from those benefits. Disability beneficiaries are facing similar challenges, but with even higher stakes. If you're receiving Social Security disability insurance or supplemental security income, you already know that the SSA conducts periodic continuing disability reviews to make sure you still meet their definition of disabled. What many people don't realize is that the agency has ramped up these reviews dramatically, and they're now using much shorter response windows than they did in the past. You might receive a packet of forms requesting updated medical details, information about your daily activities, records of any work you've tried to do, and contact information for your doctors or healthcare providers. The instructions will clearly state that you have 10 days to return the forms. Miss that deadline, even by a single day, and the SSA can begin the process of stopping your disability benefits for failure to cooperate with their review. They don't need to show that your condition has improved. They can simply halt your payments because you didn't respond on time. Fighting this kind of termination requires filing an appeal, requesting reconsideration, and potentially going before an administrative law judge. The entire process can stretch out for a year or more while you're left without any income. Then there's the issue of representative payees, which affects hundreds of thousands of beneficiaries who have someone else managing their Social Security benefits on their behalf. If you're a representative payee for an elderly parent, a disabled family member, or anyone else, the Social Security Administration requires you to file annual reports accounting for how you spent the beneficiary's money. These reports have strict deadlines, and the SSA has become much more aggressive about enforcing them. If you're even a few days late submitting your representative payee report, the agency can remove you as payee, freeze the beneficiary's benefits until a new payee is appointed, or in some cases determine that the beneficiary should be receiving direct payment, which might not be appropriate if the person has cognitive impairment or other issues that make them vulnerable. The 10-day deadline usually applies when the SSA sends you a notice questioning something in your file or asking for additional documents. You must respond right away with the requested information, because if you don't, they can proceed with terminating your status as a representative payee. Let me tell you about the overpayment situation, because this is causing absolute panic among retirees nationwide. The Social Security Administration has been sending out overpayment notices claiming that they paid people too much money at some point in the past, sometimes going back several years, and now they want that money back. And we're not talking about small sums here. Some retirees are receiving notices claiming they were overpaid $20,000, $40,000, even $60,000 or more. These letters usually give you just 10 days to take action. Either repay the full amount, request a waiver, or set up a payment plan. If you fail to respond within that short window, the SSA can begin withholding your entire monthly benefit check until the full overpayment is recovered. Imagine living on a fixed income of $1,500 a month, carefully budgeting every penny for rent, food, medications, and utilities. And then suddenly that entire check just doesn't show up because the government claims you were overpaid years ago due to some administrative error that wasn't even your fault. This is happening to real people every single day, and the only way to fight it is to respond to that initial notice within the deadline and request a waiver or appeal the overpayment determination. There's also a huge issue affecting people who receive both Social Security retirement benefits and a pension from government work where they didn't pay into Social Security. This is covered by something called the Windfall Elimination provision and the government pension offset, which are complicated formulas that reduce Social Security benefits for people who have these types of pensions. The Social Security Administration has been running audits to find individuals who should have had these reductions applied but didn't. They're now sending notices demanding repayment and cutting future benefits. When you get one of these notices, you usually have just 10 days to submit documentation showing the type of pension you receive, how much you're getting, and whether the SSA's calculations are accurate. If you don't respond with detailed documentation within that window, they'll implement the reduction based on their assumptions, which are often incorrect and result in much larger reductions than necessary. Now, here's what you absolutely need to do right now, today, to protect yourself. First, make it a habit to check your mailbox daily and open every piece of mail from the Social Security Administration. Never assume it's just informational or something you can postpone. Read each notice carefully, paying close attention to any deadlines or required actions. If a letter mentions that you need to respond within 10 days, 30 days, or by a specific date, treat it as urgent. Stop everything else and address it immediately. Second, you need to create a My Social Security account online if you don't already have one. Go to the Social Security Administration's official website and set up your personal account. This allows you to see your benefit information, check for any notices or alerts, verify your payment history, and communicate with the SSA electronically. Having this online access can give you earlier warning about issues than waiting for paper mail to arrive. Third, if you receive any notice that you don't fully understand or that seems to be claiming you owe money or that your benefits will be reduced or terminated, do not ignore it and do not wait. Contact the Social Security Administration immediately by calling their national number, or even better, schedule an appointment at your local Social Security office to speak with someone in person. Take the notice with you along with your ID and any relevant documents. Make sure to get clear answers about what's being claimed and what steps you need to take to protect your benefits. If the deadline is near and you can't secure an appointment in time, send a written response to the address on the notice explaining that you received it, that you're gathering the requested information, and that you're requesting an extension. Send it by certified mail so you have proof that you responded within the required time frame. Fourth, think about enlisting help from a professional who specializes in Social Security matters. Some attorneys focus exclusively on Social Security disability and retirement benefits, and many provide free consultations. There are also nonprofit organizations that offer free support to seniors navigating Social Security issues. The National Organization of Social Security, claimants' representatives can help you locate qualified attorneys in your area, and your local area agency on aging may have counselors who can guide you in understanding notices and responding correctly. Don't try to navigate complex Social Security issues alone, especially when your financial security is on the line. The bottom line is this: the Social Security Administration is not your friend right now. I know that sounds harsh, but you need to understand that they're operating under tremendous pressure to reduce costs and eliminate improper payments. And they're using automated systems and rigid deadlines that don't account for the reality of how seniors actually receive and process mail. You cannot assume that everything is fine just because you've been receiving benefits without problems for years. You need to be vigilant. You need to respond to every notice immediately. And you need to protect yourself by staying informed about your rights and the current policies that could affect your benefits. Your Social Security income is likely the backbone of your retirement security. Losing it, even for a short time, could be financially devastating. Act now, today, to ensure you're not one of the thousands of retirees who suddenly wake up to find their benefits have vanished.